Hello everyone, my name is Abdulhakim Hassan from GNED226 and today I'll be presenting on my topic on video game rings and censorship. Without further ado, let's get started. Intro. Understanding video game rings and censorship is essential for both gamers and parents. These systems guide customer decisions and ensure content that is suitable across age groups. However, they also spark debates about their relevance and impact on creative freedom. Today, this presentation will explore the history and evolution of video game ratings, the effects of censorship, case studies, and aiming to understand how the gaming industry balances regulation with artistic expression. What is censorship in history? Censorship involves the restriction of or banning content that is offensive or inappropriate. In video games, this means altering or limit content to comply with the legal or cultural standards. Censorship has ancient roots, evolving in the 20th century with the advent of new media. For example, the Hays Code in the 1930s. Hollywood set standards for film content, while music and literature saw similar regulations. As video games grew popular in the late 20th century, censorship led to the creation of rating systems like the ESRB in America and PGI in Europe to address concerns over violence and explicit content. Video game controversies. Video games have gained increasingly controversial in the late 20th century for their violent content. In the 1970s, games like Death Race sparked public outrage. This concern continued into the 90s with titles like Mortal Kombat and Night Trap, which attracted political attention and led to U.S. Senate hearings. During these hearings, companies like Sega and Nintendo took different approaches to violent content, leading to the establishment of the ESRB as a unified rating system. Types of video game ratings. Globally, video games ratings inform consumers about content suitability for different age groups. The ESRB in North America uses categories like rated E for everyone or rated M for mature, while PEGI in Europe ranges from PEGI free to PEGI 18. In Japan, 0. They rate their games from A for all ages to Z, adults only. And Australia's classification board uses ratings from G for general audience to R18 plus for restricted. These systems help protect a younger audience and guide purchasing decisions. Censorship and regional differences. Censorship in video games varies widely by region due to cultural and legal differences. Mortal Kombat faced different levels of censorship worldwide. In America, Nintendo replaced blood with sweat for Super Nintendo, while the Genesis version kept the violence intact. In Japan, games like Resident Evil are toned down for violence, while political sensitivities in China led to the banning of Animal Crossing New Horizons. These examples highlight how regional norms shape the content and distribution of video games. Notable lawsuits and court cases. Several court cases have shaped the debate on video game violence. Attorney Jack Thompson famously filed lawsuits against Rockstar Games, alleging that Grand Theft Auto supports real-life violence. His disbarment in 2008 ended his campaign. Another example is the 2011 Supreme Court case, Brown v. Entertainment Merchants Associations. The court rules that California's law restricting the sales of violent video games to minors was unconstitutional, meaning that video games are still protected under the First Amendment. Other cases like Wilson v. Midway Games are also protected under the First Amendment. So debates on if ratings matter in 2014. The relevance of video game ratings, such as the ESRB, have been in question in 2014. Despite their intent to protect the younger audience, many argue that those ratings are becoming useless. Children are still have access to buy M-rated games like Call of Duty or GTA, often without the permission of their parents, who may later blame the games for negative influences. This highlights the importance of parental responsibility over game content rather than rather than relying on the rating systems. While ratings are intended to inform, their impact is limited if parents do not enforce them. Impact. Video game ratings and censorship significantly impact global gaming culture and industry practices. They ensure content appropriate across age groups, creating a safer environment for younger players. However, these regulations can also lead to cultural homogenization as developers modify content to meet the most strict standards, potentially stifling creativity. Additionally, censored games can affect sales and market access, shaping the industry's financial landscape. And in conclusion, video game ratings and censorship are important in guiding consumer choices and ensuring that the content is available for all age groups. Though their effectiveness is debated, these systems reflect cultural values and aim to protect younger audiences, but they also raise questions about their impact on creative freedom. While I believe that the strict rating may not always be necessary, it's clear that they continue to influence the video game industry as time goes by. So yeah, thank you guys for listening to my presentation, and I hope you all have a great day. Thank you very much. Bye.